Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another film discussion. And I am here with my co host, Donald Wills.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Donald. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. And today we are here talking about science fiction, and it could be movies, books, games, pretty much anything that we want to discuss that's science fiction. So, and I think you came up with the idea for science fiction. So why did you come up with that idea?
Well, our very, I just realized last month we passed our 1 year of doing film discussion.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That's right.
And I thought, since our very first episode was Star Wars, why not make the, a year and 1 month later, sci-fi related. So
Okay, makes
as
sense.
like a film discussion anniversary style episode kind of deal.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, I like that. So, um, so what do you got? What are your first 10? Oh, I should
Okay.
let people know. We have 20 each. Doesn't matter if they're Blu-ray or DVD, games, whatever. And then we're gonna Donald will do 10, I'll do 10, then he'll do 10, then I'll do 10. So that's how we're gonna work it out.
Okay. All right. I'm going to. All right. Well, make sure I have 10 here. You know what? I'm just gonna add an 11th one just to be the weirdo.
Hey, I have a book that would make one stack 11, so go ahead.
There you go. Well, like I said, some of these I'm not going to go into too much detail because a lot of people know them. But I figured we'd start off with the honorable mention of the 10 I have, Psycho Goreman.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've heard it's good.
You never seen it? It's good, man.
No.
It's good. I it's I mean, it's basically about this alien or like an alien overlord that supposedly was entombed in the earth millions of years ago. I guess with a failed attempt to destroy the universe, and this little girl gets to has a I forget what it is. It's like a thing that controls him, and she's making him do all this childish stuff. It's hilarious.
Okay, yeah, I
And
saw the
and
trailer. The
he's
trailer looked good.
it's good. It's good. I definitely recommend anybody to watch
Okay.
this. Um, I don't know if you can consider this sci-fi, but maybe sci-fi related. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
Um,
kind of, because of the Invisible
mm,
Man and Frankenstein's monster and all that. So that might be
does have Captain
kind of.
Nemo, right?
Um,
Is Captain? I think Captain Nemo's in it, isn't he?
it's been a while since I've seen it,
I could be
but
wrong.
I remember it being pretty good. So this is kind of like a science fiction ish.
Okay. I read something where there's a massive flaw in that film. Massive. Sean Connery calls the car an automobile, and that word automobile was not used for like 20, 30 years later. So apparently the screenwriter did not do their research on automobile.
I mean, it's Hollywood. They get paid to not do research.
And Sean Connery and the director hated each other. And after
Oh,
that, the director, I don't think ever worked again.
wow.
Yeah.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it was supposed to be really bad. I believe it's the same guy who did not get along with Wesley Snipes on Blade.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
learn something new every day.
There you go.
Small soldiers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Um, like I said, some of these can be. I guess you could consider it sci-fi since it is a chip that's a military chip that is getting put into these toys that are kind of making them go haywire and stuff. So
Okay.
I could kind of consider that sci-fi-ish.
Now, did you know that film came out right before Phil Hartman's death? And because his wife shot him in bed, they went back into that movie and cut out any scenes of them aiming a gun at Phil Hartman.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So when you
Wow.
watch the movie, there should not be one shot of one of the little toy things, one of the small soldiers pointing a gun at Phil Hartman.
Okay then.
Yeah. There you go.
That's definitely interesting. The final countdown.
There we go. I bought that one recently myself from Blue Underground. That's a good flick.
I want to get the Blu-ray at some point, but I watched this a couple years ago and I really enjoyed it, especially the whole time travel thing. And it's pretty unique how they go about it. So yeah, if no one's ever seen this, I definitely recommend this one.
It's a fun flick. It's old school, but it's fun.
Oh, it's what, 80s?
Yeah, I think like early 80s.
Yep, 1980.
Yeah.
He says what the copyright says.
That sounds right.
The Martian Chronicles.
Know of it, but I have not seen it.
I mean, okay, this would have. It's not bad, but the only reason you want to watch it is for John Malkovich. That's the only reason you want to watch it.
He must have been paid well.
It's John Malkovich. Come on. Everyone's favorite. Ender Game. Ender's Game.
I got that. Yeah, got that.
I read the book just last year, and I'm surprised at how faithful-ish this is. They actually said that I could be wrong, but I think Orson Scott Card, the one that wrote the book, said that this basically pushed him. No, he was trying to write the screenplay for this from the original book, and he couldn't do it until he wrote Ender's Shadow, which is taking place from Bean's perspective, and that is how, because it's basically Ender's Game and Ender's Shadow are happening at the same time, and that's how he got this make this the screenplay.
Oh, okay, and that's the director's cut, or is that no? The previous one was the director's cut. Mutant Chronicles was the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Ender's Game has a good twist at the end.
Oh yeah. It's really good. I really enjoyed it, and basically, like I said, from the book, it's very faithful. It's one of the very few faithful adaptations. Sure, they may have changed a few things, but who doesn't?
Sure.
Elysium.
That's a good one. He's one of my favorite directors.
I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen this at this point.
Have you seen Chappie? Because I see you have District in the back there. Have you seen Chappie?
I have not. That's one
I cried in Chappie. I'm actually being serious. Yeah, there's a scene in it that I won't say what it is, but it was so horrible that I actually teared up in it, and I don't want to watch the movie again because of it. I've seen it twice, and I've teared up twice.
Oh wow. That's how you know the movie's good when it makes you get a little
Neil
misty-eyed.
He was supposed to make Alien 5, and there's all of these. If you Google like his name and Alien 5, all of these storyboards and drawings and paintings and stuff come up, and it looks like it would have been great. It was supposed to be Sigourney Weaver and Hicks and I can't believe I'm blanking on her name, but then Ridley Scott said, nope, we're doing Prometheus, and Fox went, okay, we'll just cancel Alien 5.
Rude, man, rude.
Yeah, it would have been great, I think.
Robot overlords.
Oh, sweet cheese. Now that I'm gonna guess that's The Asylum.
No. Believe it or
No.
not. Believe it or not. But looking at this, you would think that. And I gotta say, best um false advertisements on the back. Transformers meets Doctor Who.
Oh wow. Okay. And it is not.
No, not even close.
There's no telephone booth that goes through
No,
time.
no TARDIS, no bigger on the inside than the outside. None of that.
Wow. Okay.
Robot Wars or Robot Wars, Robot World. Oh my god.
Asylum?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it was this. I liked it. It's not the greatest movie ever, but I enjoyed it. From what I remember, it's basically this guy going to a planet to no, he's marooned on a planet. I'm sorry, it's been a while, and he's basically looking for other life, and pretty much it's just him walking aimlessly through the woods.
Okay.
Now here's one I can actually tell you about. Gamebox 1.0.
I know of it, but that's about it. Okay.
Basically, it's about this guy that gets this game system and he gets transported into the game. And pretty much, if you die in the game, you're dead for good.
Okay.
If you die after, I think it's like you get 3 lives or whatever. And it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. I forget what anyway, Gamebox. And last for the DVDs, we gotta end with some classic H.P. Lovecraft.
Huh.
Come on,
Yeah. Oh no, I love the movie. I have two versions of it from two different studios.
you
This
wouldn't
one
call this sci-fi?
is it sci-fi? I mean, it's H.P.
I
Lovecraft.
mean,
It's
H.P. Lovecraft is. I mean, it
cosmic
is an
horror.
experiment going wrong.
Well, I mean, I guess Frankenstein would be considered sci-fi,
I
not really
mean,
horror.
let's be,
Dracula's horror, but Frankenstein would be, and that's Frankenstein.
yeah. So,
Okay,
I
all
mean, let's
right,
be
all right.
real here. Let's be
I
real
will
here.
allow it. I will allow
When
it.
I mean, any zombie movie that has anything to do with a virus could be considered sci-fi if you really think about it.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there you go.
Okay, that's your first 10.
That's my first time.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with a book here, and this is the book that started it all. Without this author, we would not have Stephen King. Without this author, we would not have Night of the Living Dead. Without this author, we would probably have some not so great episodes of The Twilight Zone. And there's been 3 versions of the book made, and my dream project is to make the book. I want to make the book into the film. Nobody's done the book into the film, and it's I Am Legend. And I really wish I didn't have this cover with friggin' Will Smith on it, but I do. I guess the cover doesn't really count. It's what's inside that matters. And the first adaptation of this was in the 50s with Vincent Price, The Last Man on Earth. And Richard Matheson wrote the screenplay for that, but he used an alias. And they changed the name of the main character, like his last name for some reason. I don't know why. And then the second, and it's the best version of this. Actually, Last Man on Earth is great. It's a really good movie. That is science fiction. And then the next one was the 70s with Charlton Heston, the Omega Man. Doesn't even come close to the book at all. And then I Am Legend with Will Smith, which once again does not follow the book at all. So, but they're all 3 good movies. I like them all. I would just prefer to watch The Last Man on Earth because it's the closest to the book. To me, this is one of the greatest books, and I haven't read a ton of books. I've read a decent amount, but this is my favorite book of all time. I don't think any book will beat it. And it's got the endings to the movies try to capture the ending to this, but they all do it in kind of the same way, but they don't do it like the end of the book, because the book is dark.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I want to do, is the book.
It's basically
So,
supposed to be like hopeless. Like he's lost.
For people, well, I'm not going to say for people who haven't read the book, but there's a reason why it's called I Am Legend. So that's, yeah. So I'll leave it at that. People should read the book, listen to the audio book.
It's classic.
It's a great book, yeah. And other Matheson stuff too. Matheson is my all-time favorite writer.
I definitely want to read more Matheson, because I've read I Am Legend and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to try to see if I can track down some of his other books and stuff.
Oh, his stuff is not hard to find at all. I mean, he wrote Duel,
the
movie with the truck that's chasing Dennis Weaver. You know, he did for movies that people would know, What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. Good book, but not the greatest movie. So and of course he's written some of the best episodes of The Twilight Zone. So yeah, and now his son writes. Richard Christian Matheson is a writer himself, and he's worked on screenplays and things. So these are almost all Blu-ray, but I am starting off with one of the greatest it's in my top 5, one of the greatest bad movies ever made. The poster, which is not the box cover, ruined the movie. It tells you the twist in the poster, which is really bizarre. I saw this in the theater and fell in love with it. I own like 2 versions of the soundtrack. And when it came out on Blu-ray, I'm like, oh my God, I have to have it. And I bought it that day. And that is The Hunter from the Future.
Nice.
Starring Reb Brown, who was the Captain America TV version back in the day, where he basically just wore the spandex and a motorcycle helmet. And that was Captain America. And I think he met Thor and the Hulk once or something. But yeah, so this is the 35th anniversary edition. It has audio commentary by Reb Brown and the theatrical trailer. Anthony M. Dawson is one of my favorite bad directors. He also did Treasure of the Four Crowns. And here's the poster. So that's the twist. And that was the poster out in the theaters. Is you're supposed to think he's in prehistoric times, that he's a caveman. But the twist is that this is after the apocalypse. And there's the UFOs, and there's the people that live in the future, and all of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and I love this film. I absolutely love it. So I'm glad
I do need to get a copy of that at some point.
Yeah, God, it is great. It's one of my favorite sci-fi flicks where oh my God, I didn't put it in here. It's up in that stack. But Flash Gordon is great. This is great bad. But you could have like a double feature of them. It'd probably be kind of fun. Yeah. The next one is called Synchronic.
I've heard of that one.
It's done by the 2 guys, writer, directors, producers, who also did The Endless. I believe they did Moon Knight for Disney. And all their stuff is kind of cosmic horror. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. And I'm blanking on they did the God, what is the name of it? The Del Toro did the film, where the woman falls in love with like the creature in the water. They took that idea from these guys. I'm blanking on the name of the film. It's a 1-word title, but I don't want to waste time and look it up. But a guy goes to like another country to get away from things, meets up with a woman who ends up basically being like a squid. And she changes into the squid, and he has to kind of deal with it. This is so good. It's a drug that you take, and it breaks down your world and can take you into the past. And depending on where you are in the room, that's where you would go in history. and this guy's daughter disappears because the drug is called synchronic, and and he goes to try to find her. Now his friend Mackie here is Anthony Mackie. He's a black guy, as we know. Going back in time for black people is not the best thing. So he hits certain periods in time that are not the nicest. So it is excellent. It is, and this is another one that kind of teared me up at the end.
Okay.
It is all these films that these guys did are really good, and somehow they kind of tie into one another in a little bit of a way. But highly recommend these guys' movies. They just says the endless, which I said. The next one is Right There with Your, and this is in my top 5 from one of my all-time favorite bad movies. And I am friends with one of the actors in it. So it is Creepazoids from Charles Band. So quick story. I used to work at Tower Records in LA, Pasadena. Right below us was like Century City Radio Shack or whatever it was. Not Century City, like Radio Shack or whatever it was down below. They went out of business, but it was one of those type of places. And the guy who I worked with upstairs said, "Hey, did you know that the guy who was in Creepazoids, it works downstairs? Michael Randa." And I'm like, "No way." And I went down and we became friends, and he was in a bunch of my student films. So he doesn't act so much now, but in fact, that's him right there. So
cool deal.
Yeah, so thought that was really cool. This is one, argumentably, some people will say it is the worst movie ever made. I disagree with that, and I do not think this director is the worst director ever. I've seen worse. I love this film, and I don't care what people say. It does not go on my good bad list. It just goes on my good list. And that is Plan 9 from Outer Space. So I enjoyed that movie. I love this film, and I don't care what people say. There are so many worse movies out there, and we're about to show one later on that both of us agree is one of the worst movies ever made. I wanted this totally with as much as I could get. So it's black and white. It's color. It's got audio commentary from Mike Nelson of Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks, which is a little offensive because, he makes fun of Ed Wood. And it's got Ed Wood home movies, rare Ed Wood commercials. It's restored. So this is like the ultimate way of getting the movie. You get a little bit of everything on this. Nice. And I love Plan 9. I do not care what people say. I love Plan 9. I even got 2 soundtracks to it that I listened to. One of them I listened to a lot. The next one is one of the greatest movies ever made. It bombed when it came out, and then now it's huge. And that would be The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Yep. One of the best movies ever made. Part of his Apocalypse trilogy. So his End of the World stuff. And it's got its little slip jacket here, but because I happen to know somebody at Scream Factory, I even got the other slip jacket.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi films, and this is a true sci-fi movie. I even got to work with one of the actors in it, and he signed I can't believe I'm blanking. That is so fucked up. That is so fucked up that I hate getting old. This I may have to look up because I'm embarrassed that I don't remember his name. But it's Donnie Darko. And I got it signed here. He even put the little time down here. Oh, come on. I'm going to look this up. I'm sorry. This is I feel stupid that I don't know this guy. Since it's Donnie Darko, it'll take like 2 seconds.
That's a movie I still need to see.
Oh my God. It is great. Get the one. Yeah, get the one that has both the theater version and the director's cut just to have them.
Okay.
But the director's cut is I don't like it as much. James Duvall, why I would forget that. I even worked with the guy, but yeah. So yeah, he plays the rabbit in it. And it says, "Why are you wearing that stupid human suit? Well, why are you wearing that stupid man suit?" And it's James Duval Frank, and he wrote this down here. So yeah, great movie. There's
Have you
even a
seen the sequel?
I have, and I own it, and I'm probably one of two people who liked it.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I've heard a lot of people saying it wasn't good, but I haven't seen either one, so I can't comment on them. So
I liked it. It has the actress who plays Donnie's sister in it, so she came back, which is nice. But I liked it. It's the same, but it's different. So,
okay.
Next one here is Battle Los Angeles,
Nice.
which is I love this film, and my big joke with this movie is that even after the city is destroyed, it still looks exactly the same. So since LA is just a giant fucking smelly armpit. But I love this. The soundtrack is great. The movie is awesome. And they came out with about 20 movies that had the same type of poster where it's the back of the person and they're looking at some sort of destruction, like Skyline and Battleship, and all of these are the same thing. So that one's an awesome one. Now we get into some DVD. And I'm picking this out because I'm friends with the person who made it. So and I want to give him a shout out, and that is Joe Lujan. And this is Immortal Wars.
Nice.
And I am part of this series. There's several films out now, and like web episodes and comic books and all that type of stuff. And I bring this up not just because I know him and have worked on these and some of his other films, but for a guy who basically does everything on his own, this thing looks like the X-Men. I mean, it looks great.
Nice.
He did such a, and each one looks better because he learns more and more because he's self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
So if people can find this, I've seen it at, well, I guess not Dollar Tree anymore, but if you could find it, which is easy. I think it's even on Tubi. Check it out. I think if you like comic book sci-fi movies, I think that you'll enjoy this. So
yeah, I've ever since I've seen your one filmmaker, one film with him. When you guys were talking about that, I've been wanting to see him for a while. So
yeah, he's going to be re-releasing everything, I guess, all like remastered with new visual effects and all that stuff on Blu-ray. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
I may hold off for that then.
I definitely want to pick it up because I've gotten a preview of what it looks like, and it looks awesome. So,
okay, cool deal.
Then two left. I got Death Race 2000. Roger Corman,
Nice.
David Carradine, Paul Bartel directed it. Sylvester Stallone, one of his first films.
Nice.
So awesome movie. If you've never seen it, they did a couple remakes, a couple sequels, and they're not nearly as good as this. This is black comedy, and it's all about like because this is like 70s, like early 70s, mid 70s, mm-hmm. and it's what it would be like in the year 2000 that we run over people for points. And I think we've almost gotten to that point with reality television. I mean, isn't that the next thing? Is that we go out and hunt people and play it on TV? And my last one is a Dollar Tree film, and this is a collection, and I love this. They put together a perfect collection. It's called Brains That Wouldn't Die Collection. And nice. It has on it The Brain That Wouldn't Die, The Head, The Atomic Brain, Indestructible Man, The Amazing Transparent Man, and The Manster. All really.
I have The Manster.
The Manster is awesome because if you're a Sam Raimi fan, and if you know Army of Darkness, when that little head comes out of his shoulder and stuff, and he like sees the eye and all that, that's the Manster. Mm-hmm. That's where they took it from, was from this movie. Because that's what happens. The guy starts running along like a mountain. It's a set, but he's like running along a mountain. And he's got this little head poking out of his shoulder. So, and that's it. That's my my first, I guess 11, 10, 11.
10, 11.
Counting the book.
Counting the book. There you go. All right. So, I guess I'll go into my next 10 here.
Yeah.
Move this stuff around. Got it. this isn't a movie, but it's a TV show, an adult cartoon.
Oh, okay.
That is Rick and Morty.
Oh, of course. Yeah, awesome show.
Gotta love Rick and Morty.
Love Rick and Morty. Yes,
it's awesome. So don't need to explain Rick and Morty.
no.
Another one of H.P. Lovecraft's movie, The Color Out of Space.
Love that film.
It is good. Really
One of
good.
Nick's
I really
best.
enjoyed this
Yeah,
one.
that is a great one.
I mean, come on. It's Nick Cage being all
crazy
and being crazy and just the way we love him, man.
I hear you.
Mortal Engines.
I have it, but I did not hear good things. Is it good?
It's not
It looks
bad.
cool.
It wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. Everyone said like it was terrible, it was horrible. If you go into it expect like I think the biggest problem is it says from the filmmakers of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. If you go in expecting Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, you're going to be highly disappointed. But it's one of those movies you can just turn your brain off and just enjoy it.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what it is.
All right.
And it got these big giant like machines that they I guess tear the earth up with or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay.
Super 8.
Okay. J.J. Abrams. Okay.
This is a good movie. I really enjoyed this one.
It is. It's one I still liked him.
Before he ruins Star Wars.
Before he ruins everything these days. Last good thing he did was Mission Impossible 3, and he actually saved the series because of that.
I don't know if you would consider this sci-fi or not, but the alligator people. It's kind of more horror than science fiction.
Science is in it. Yeah, they eject him with this stuff. I think that
yeah, maybe.
I think he's, from what I remember, is he's dating somebody. He goes off to war. He comes back. He ends up going to like that place. He disappears. Yeah. She follows him. It's like in Florida.
Yeah.
And he's now this like alligator guy, and he's like literally like at the end with the big giant alligator mask. And I think they inject him because he had like burns or something from the war.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it had the alligator effect. So
yeah. So Forbidden Planet.
Of course. That is a classic. That
classic.
Scared me as a kid. The id monster.
I actually have, I don't know how well you can see him, but I have Robbie the Robot right up there.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Right next to Cthulhu.
So. I got to, I don't know if it's the original Robbie the Robot, but we have a place out here called the Sci-Fi Center. I'm sorry, not the Sci-Fi Center. There is a Sci-Fi Center. The Atomic Testing Museum. And and they have movie stuff in there, and they had the full life Robbie the Robot. So I took a picture with him. I don't know if it's the original, but
yeah. Well, evidently this comes with. I'm assuming there was a sequel called The Invisible Boy. Is that the sequel to this, or is that another whole different movie?
It's a whole different movie, but I've seen Invisible Boy been mentioned with it before. Yeah.
Okay, because I asked when I thought, I was like, what is because the way they were talking on the back here is like it's supposed to be like a sequel to it. I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. It might be like the same effects people or maybe the same director.
Maybe that could be it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if these may not be considered sci-fi, but any of the movies like Mothra and Godzilla,
made by Atomic Testing. So
Atomic Testing. So
Atomic Testing, yeah.
That's pretty much all I have.
That's not.
I guess huh?
Is that 10?
I guess not. I didn't. Well, I had King Kong. I was like, that's not really. Can't really call that sci-fi.
Well, how
That's
many do you
more.
have there that you do consider sci-fi?
Um,
Like which one? How up to alligator people? Oh, no, up to Mothra.
pretty much that's it.
How many is that?
We're good. There was the two King Kong, the King Kong and the original and the remake, and
What about some of the ones behind you on your shelf there? Because you got like Alien, you got Star Trek, you got
Annihilation.
Annihilation is awesome. That's cosmic horror.
Good movie. Um,
That's the better Star Trek of the three.
yeah, better. Sorry. There's
The
the American version of Godzilla.
Okay. They're kind of shiny with the light on them. So what are the first two?
Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh, okay.
And
You
then
know
I
that
also,
that guy that I interviewed, Alan Maxon,
yeah,
for one filmmaker, he's one
Mhm.
of the heads of King Ghidra.
yeah. As I do also have The Abyss.
Okay, that's science fiction. That's definitely science fiction there.
So
Okay.
this is one of the movies that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Why is that?
When I was a kid, I had a bad experience with water, and every time I watch a movie that has anything to do with water, is kind of, yeah. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, okay. I thought maybe you had a bad experience with like a liquid tentacle or something, you know.
No, just I almost drowned when I was a kid, so
Oh, that sucks.
so so every time I'm near water, it's like, ooh.
Oh wow. Okay. So is that it for you? You're calling it
I
down?
do I do have
What about
a couple of
games?
I do have a couple of games, and I have a couple 3 books.
Okay, yeah, show them off. Let's see what you got.
Okay. All right, well,
Let's
how
discuss
about
them.
let's start with the book. The very first science fiction book I've ever read was, of course, Star Wars.
Ah, yes.
I have a whole bunch of them, but this was the one. This is the one that started off Darth Plagueis, which
I
is mentioned in episode 3. So this is canon, Disney, whether you like it or not. It's canon.
yeah, I got stuff to say about that coming up. So
Um, so these two right here, these are cool. Um, the author Gene Wolfe wrote a series of books called Book of the New Sun. This is the first 2 books, The Shadow of the Torturer and the Claw of the Caliculator, or something like that.
okay.
And then the third and fourth book, the sort of he used a lot of weird words that they're never used. So these are considered it's years in the future, the sun is dying, but the world has revolted back to medieval times. But they still have like laser beam like weapons and stuff like that, but they're not mentioned in the way that you would think they're mentioned.
Sounds like
So
your.
it's pretty much like your, but this is he uses language that we don't use anymore. So these are very difficult reads. So because he doesn't he's not very indirect when he's talking about something. He's
Okay.
talking he's talking like they don't remember what this particular weapon is. Like he could be describing a lightsaber, and he'll say it is a blade that shoots energy out of its sides or something like that. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Interesting.
So, couple video games, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Alrighty.
Okay. You've probably seen the show. I had the game, The Last of Us.
Ah, I thought the show was a waste of time. I want to play the game.
The game is a lot of fun. I've never beaten it, so
I've never played the game, but I heard that the game is basically takes like 14 hours to play the game, but we only got like 8 episodes of the show, so that's 8 hours, and I think they wasted 2 of the episodes on things that kind of happened in the game but didn't. They completely reworked them, and by the time we got to the end, I didn't understand what was the point. I just didn't get it.
I've heard they changed a lot of stuff, and part 2 just went woke. Yes, the first video, probably one of the very first video games to go woke.
Yeah, was it Naughty Dog? People weren't too happy with Naughty Dog, and I know that they changed Bill and Frank. They changed all their stuff around, and then there's the episode where Ellie, I think that's the lead girl's name, where we find out that she's gay and that she has the relationship with a friend who dies, that she had to shoot her because she got bit. There's an HBO show called Euphoria, and it has 2 seasons. I think it's 2 seasons, not 3. But in between seasons 1 and 2, they did 2 special episodes that just focused on 2 characters, just to give us background. I thought that was a perfect way to give us something to watch in between the seasons. And I thought that they should have done the same thing with The Last of Us, is that they should have taken those 2 episodes and basically put them out now in between seasons 1 and 2, because the Bill and Frank has nothing to do, like, it doesn't really serve a purpose in the show at all, except that he gets a truck, and that's about it. But he can get a truck from anywhere. And I think that's what they should have done, and focused more and made the game from the game, do 10 episodes. Because now I've heard with season 2, they're going to make it 4 seasons of the game, of part 2 of the game. But the first one only gets 8 episodes. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of a waste. And then by the end, there were no fungus zombies running around, none. If I wanted to see the last 3 seasons of the boring Walking Dead, where there's no zombies, I would watch that instead of this. Why am I getting that in the first season? It started off great, and then it just, in my opinion,
I will say, from my experience of playing the games, I don't know if it's in the show, but did you ever did the show ever go into the clickers?
Yes.
Okay. They suck. They suck, man. I've died so many times trying to get past one of them.
Yeah, they're in there, but all of that stuff disappears. All of it disappears. There's maybe one fungus zombie or a clicker or something like that pops in and out. But it's kind of like how Walking Dead was just packed with zombies, and then by the time we got to the 8th season, 9th season, the zombies were barely in it. They would have to throw a few of them in, to still call it, I guess, The Walking Dead, but whatever.
So gathering from what I got from that information, play the game, don't watch the movie or the TV show.
Yeah,
unless you want, or watch it at your own risk, I should say.
Yeah, and I guess Pascal is gonna be in part 2, but of course, if you played the game, you only know he's gonna be in 2 episodes, and that's it.
Yeah,
and I haven't played the game, but I know how he dies. So, oops.
Oh, yeah, I already knew that. So
yeah, I mean, anybody who played the game,
and I haven't. Zone of the Enders.
I know of it.
These are mech games. These are pretty fun. Unfortunately, the creator Hideo Kojima is no longer with the company Konami because they jerked him around on the last Metal Gear game, which is another kind of which is another sci-fi game that, but I don't have them with me. I don't know if I packed them away or whatever. Well, anyway, so he kind of gave them the middle finger and walked away. Don't blame him, but then I've heard a lot of people say he's kind of an a-hole.
Well, I heard that was the same thing with the guy from Rick and Morty. So that,
Yeah,
all that stuff that was rumored about him that just happened did not happen, but he's still a dick. Like he comes to the set drunk and records the voices drunk. So I guess he really is Rick. So
I mean, pretty much. Vanquished.
don't know that one.
This is made by the same guy that did the original Resident Evil game.
Oh, okay.
And it's not the same, but it's plays like the original Resident Evil. Or not the original Resident Evil, but like the Resident Evil 4 and all that from like the behind the shoulder. So
Okay.
this is really good. It's very fast paced. You're basically this dude in a machine or like a suit, and basically you like slide around, you jump around. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Definitely recommend check out some gameplay footage or something if for those of you that are watching. These games are good. Mass Effect 2
I know of those.
and
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
Unfortunately, PlayStation never got the very first Mass Effect game. Only Xbox did. So we got 2 and 3. They did eventually put them out digitally. So we got 2 and 3 on PlayStation. They later on released a box set with all 3 of them physically. These are really good. I enjoyed all 3 of them. They made one for PS4 called Andromeda. Played it for an hour, and let's just say I never touched it again.
Oh.
It was that bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I have a game series called Star Ocean.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
Okay, we have Star Ocean for the Super Nintendo. Now, this is not an official release. This was a reproduction cartridge, which is basically people would take the ROM, put it onto an actual cartridge, and they would sell it. Pretty much bootlegging.
Ah, okay.
But the only way I can get a copy of it because I'm not learning Japanese.
Not an easy language.
Star Ocean, the second story on PlayStation. It's the very first official one to come out here in the States.
Because there were so many unanswered questions in Star Ocean Story 1.
Another, it's they're kind of like the Final Fantasy universe, where it's all their own separate stories. Some of them are connected, but most of them are not. So, Star Ocean till the end of time. Fun story about this one. I played this one the whole way through, got to the very end, and accidentally deleted my save file.
Oops.
I never played it since.
Oops.
Star Ocean, The Last Hope for the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Also got to the end of this, never beat it. And then the last one is Star Ocean 5, Integrity and Faithlessness.
Oh, all right, there you go. Okay.
It was not good. And there's a 6th one coming out, I think, in a couple months or something. So I've heard a lot of people are excited for that. But those are role playing games, or basically you go around like different planets. Like you have like a story where these people go to a planet. They know that they um basically the galactic government has a thing where if you go to an underdeveloped planet, you're not allowed to tell them about technology, you're not allowed to tell them about this and that, and they show up with their technology and guns and stuff, breaking all
Okay.
of the rules.
Of
So
course.
of course.
Is
So
is Captain Kirk their leader?
no, Captain Kirk is not their leader. So that is all the games I have, and that's everything I have.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, good stuff. So these are all like box sets, collections, and stuff like that. The first two are steel books.
Nice.
They are both from Scream Factory. Once again, because I have a guy on the inside. And this is my all-time favorite Alien ripoff. It was written by Jim Wynorski. I was lucky enough to see it in the theater. I own the soundtrack, which is one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. And it is Forbidden World, which was also called Mutant, but they changed it to Forbidden World because there was already a movie called Mutant. This movie,
Forbidden World just sounds so much better.
It does. And it fits the film better. This is one of the, I just love this movie. I even told Jim Wynorski is I think the writers of Alien Covenant watched this and ripped it off because it seems similar. There are definitely some scenes that are similar. And the cool thing about this is it has two versions of the film. Roger Corman also did this with that Death Race 2000. He doesn't like humor. So he had like in Death Race 2000, they cut out all the humor. And that footage was lost forever. The director of this took the footage home, made a VHS copy of Mutant, which has all the humor in it, and kept it. So this was the only version you could see for a long time, was the theatrical one with no humor. And so they put both versions on this. They're like on separate discs. So now you get both.
So why does Roger Corman hate humor so bad?
He doesn't want comedy in like his horror films and sci-fi, like dark comedy is okay, but this was like comedy, I guess. So it's I actually do prefer the theatrical version better because that's the one I've seen like 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
The next one is also
but it's nice to have another. It's nice to have both versions if you do want to see it.
I mean, I would watch it again. Yeah. The next one is Roger Corman also. It's another steelbook, and it's another Alien ripoff, but it's one of his earlier ones, and that is Galaxy of Terror.
Nice.
And this was one of Robert Englund's first films. So, and this is the film that James Cameron was like second or third unit director, and there's a fake arm, and there were like mealworms that are supposed to be maggots, and they weren't moving. So he went to a car, got a car battery, and hooked it up to the arm. So when he put it, when he put the little pieces onto the battery, it shocked the worms and made them move. And there were Japanese producers on set that day and said, if you can make like maggots act, we want you to direct Piranha 2, The Spawning. And the rest is history.
Nice.
And that's where he met Lance Henriksen. So yeah, so this has, and it also has a famous maggot rape scene in it. Maggot that grows to like the size of an elephant and rapes a woman. So it has that's a famous scene in this too. So the maggot was arrested and he is still in prison. But these all have like great special features on them too. So behind the scenes, audio commentaries. Nice. My next one is animated. And I'm not a huge animation person, but I love this film and I love the director. And it is Wizards.
Nice.
Which a lot of people think Lucas stole Boba Fett from this guy.
Yeah.
So, and this is great. It's Ralph Bakshi, and it is by the guy who did like the Lord of the Rings cartoon that came out in like early 80s, late 70s, and he did like Fritz the Cat, and it's really good. And it's a book. So you get like that, and then there's like a little booklet that comes with it. Oh shit. So there's all these like pages in here too.
Nice.
Great movie, really political, really good. Like you would never get this as a kid. Plus, it's R-rated. There's like a shitload of nudity and violence, and people are using like their guns to like bash in skulls with, and it is great. This one, of course, everybody knows, so there's really no talking about it because everybody knows it. But it's the Back to the Future trilogy.
Great movies.
Yeah, and this one's nice. It's got all three films. There's one that came out after this that has everything, including the cartoon and everything. I just wanted the movies. So, but it's nice. It's got all three right here. So
I will say, I dare anyone to watch, I believe it's the second one, and get and not get ZZ Top stuck in your head.
no, they're in the third one.
What's that?
They're in the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like in the Old West.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing in the Old West. Yeah. But yeah, I love the second one. The second one, I might even like the second one better than the first one, to be honest. Because I love the idea of Michael J. Fox, and then there's Michael J. Fox, and there's Michael J. Fox, and there's Michael J. You know, that character is in like the constantly loops. If you really watch the movie, there's like 3 or 4 of them. So great. I love the whole series. I think the whole series is great. And Spielberg and the director will not allow them to remake it. So, which is good.
Some things just are meant to just be left alone.
Yeah, I would love to see the version because they've shown a ton of footage of Eric Stoltz. They shot with him for like close to 30 days, and then they got rid of him, and a ton of that footage has been released. So I would love for them to kind of put together like a version with him in it, just so we can see what it was going to be like. Because he took it seriously. He thought the film he didn't know the movie was a comedy. So he's dead serious throughout it. He thought it was kind of like Doomsday. So yeah, he looked at it very differently. Blade Runner. And this is the one that has disc 1 is the final cut.
I was gonna say, man, if you tell me that's the one with all 5 cuts, man, I'm gonna be mad.
Disc 1, the final cut. Disc 2, original theatrical cut. Then international theatrical cut. Then director's cut. Disc 3, special features, raw work print, feature version, documentary, Dangerous Days. So yeah, one of the best ones I've ever had. I mean, this is such a great, and it was cheap. When I used to work at Barnes and Noble, they had all these ones on sale that I bought. They're like $10. So, I mean, it also has like a little booklet. Love this movie. Love the sequel too. But that was really good. So now here we get into Star Wars, and I'm only showing this because this is the only thing I want to watch, and unfortunately I don't even want to watch this. So I hate everything, as we've discussed in the very first few episodes of Film Discussion. I hate everything that Disney has done with the sequel trilogies. I hate that George Lucas did the special editions and will never get back the original films. So I guess the best thing on here are the prequels. So
I have the VHS box set that's supposed to be the untampered with versions, but I put in quotations because I'm hearing like even then it's not really.
No, the only actual untampered versions were the versions that were of Star Wars, at least the original was the film that was shown in the theater. While it was being shown in the theater, they were adding stuff to it. So that version of the film will probably never be seen ever again.
Probably not.
Yeah, I do have, which I think I showed on our video. I do have the DVD-Rs that have technically, I got to do quotes too, none of the added stuff. It doesn't say A New Hope. It just says Star Wars. Doesn't say like episode 4 or anything. And those I watch. But this is so maddening that it's like, out of all the Star Wars stuff, this is the only thing I want. And like I said, I don't even want to watch these versions of the originals.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to have everything in one box at least. So,
yeah, there's that.
Yeah. This one you have right behind you.
Nice. Is that all of them?
Yeah. That's it. Is it this? You don't have this behind you? Isn't that what's on your shelf?
No, that's just the first one.
Oh. Okay, so this is the anthology. It's the quadology.
Yeah. This one's just the first one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So this, it's got Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. So Alien is the 1979 theatrical version and the 2003 director's cut.
That's what this one is. This one has the director's cut as well.
Okay. Then Aliens, 1986 theatrical version and the 1991 special edition. Alien 3, 1992 theatrical version and the 2003 special edition. And then Alien, which is the best. That 2003 special edition of Alien 3 is awesome. It's good. And then Alien Resurrection is the 1997 theatrical version and the 2003 special edition. This thing has friggin' I love collections. I love these box sets. I mean, look at it's a friggin' book, man. It's another book. They're really thick pages, and each one has like the film in it right there.
There you go.
The documentaries are amazing. So I forget Prometheus and Covenant. I mean, I'll just stick with these.
Yeah. I actually do need to pick up the I think they just released a collection with like all 6 movies, including Prometheus and all that.
I preferred to get them separately, so I consider this to be one thing on its own, and then I have Prometheus and Alien Covenant separate, and then that goes into, like Alien versus Predator, and then like Aliens versus Predator 2 in its own box set. And then I have Predator 1 and 2 in its own thing, and then I have Predators is its own thing, and then the Predators. So I kind of divided them all up into how I think they should go. Like if I told somebody how to watch it, like, oh, watch this box set, then watch this, then watch this, then. So I didn't want them all as one big thing. So, next, for me, the next one is also from Scream Factory, and it's the Critters collection.
I do have that one.
Love this one too. Bunch of special features on it. It's got Critters 1, Critters 2, the main course, Critters 3, Leonardo DiCaprio's first film, and Critters 4. So yeah, this is a great box set. This is really nice. It's got a bunch of special features on it. So
I was gonna grab that and another box set, which you might be showing here in a couple minutes, but I wasn't able to get to them, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see. There's always next year if we want to do another one of these. This is one of my, I want to say science fiction wise, I think this is my favorite series. And then Alien is after that. Horror, Chucky's my all-time favorite series. Then Scream, then Silent Night, Deadly Night. But this is my all-time favorite science fiction series. I love the original movies. I don't care what people say. I love the Tim Burton version. That ending is awesome. And then I love the new ones that came out. And I'm looking forward now to the next trilogy. I also love the TV show and the cartoon. And that is the Planet of the Apes series.
Nice.
So, and it's got all of the original films. The only thing that it's missing is Behind the Planet of the Apes. I have that on DVD, a double disc of that. And that's the Roddy McDowell goes through like a 2-hour documentary on all the movies. I think it came out probably right before Tim Burton's did. But this is really good. The only thing I don't think it has on, I'd have to do more research, but it's on YouTube. And I mentioned this to Jonathan Moody, that Well, unrated and theatrical versions. So it looks like these also have like unrated and theatrical versions of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. When they screened it, it was so depressing that they reshot it, because in the original ending for Conquest, which I said I think is on YouTube, and maybe on this too, I'm not sure, is Caesar basically tells the apes to kill everybody. And he's just like,
wow.
fuck humans. You guys treated us like shit. You killed my dad and my mom. We're just going to kill you all. And everybody in the theater found that so depressing that they went back and re-edited the film to where Caesar's giving this big speech, and then like his future wife goes like, no, no. And then he changes his mind and then gives like an inspirational speech on how ape and man can live together. And then that's where Battle for the Planet of the Apes comes in. So it might be on here because I think extended and theatrical version, unrated and theatrical version. Yeah, so some of these have like an extended version of the movies, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen the extended versions, just the theatrical ones. And then my last one here, this is another one I absolutely love. This is also from Scream Factory, the Fly collection.
That's the one I was talking about. I do have that box set.
Oh, look at that. It's every Fly movie made. So beautiful. Every one. And my favorite one is Curse of the Fly, which does not have a fly in it. So
I liked all three of the original. I like Cronenberg's version as well. I have not seen the sequel, the Fly 2 yet.
It's good.
I'm gonna watch it at some point, but I've watched like the Fly, the Return of the Fly,
Return of the Fly, yeah,
and then Curse of the Fly. I actually really enjoyed Curse of the Fly. Even though it wasn't really related, but it kind of is.
It's well, it has the pods, except the Curse of the Fly is actually closer to the Cronenberg Fly, even though it doesn't have a fly in it, because they have the pods. And I think, if I remember correctly, is like one pod is in the UK and one pod is in America.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do the teleportation, but it keeps creating mutants. So that I think is a little closer to the Fly. Cronenberg's The Fly, and Vincent Price was supposed to be in Curse of the Fly, but there was something with his contract that he couldn't go to England or something. I read something about that. Like, he was going to do it, but there was something with his agent or his manager and what was going on at the time that he could not go over and film the movie. Something weird like that. So that's why he's not in it. He wanted to be in it, but he couldn't be in it for legal reasons or something. I don't know.
Kind of like, isn't that kind of like what Johnny Depp is going through with in Australia or something?
That's all about a dog. 2 dogs.
I know, right?
Yeah. Because now they threaten to kill the dog. It's like, fuck you. You know, I think that they're wrong. I think because that's more Amber Heard than it is Johnny Depp, because she snuck him in. But kill Amber Heard. Don't kill the dogs. So, you know, the dogs aren't shitting in the bed. She is. So, and that's it. That's my last 10. I'm just going to quickly reorganize these so they don't get all mashed on top of one another. So do you want to start with your best, your top 5 best? Yeah.
Are we saving worst for last?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what people like. They like the worst.
I like the worst last.
There we go.
All right. So I'm going to go start at number 5. A classic film from 1957, The Deadly Mantis.
That is a good one.
I really enjoyed this one. I'm telling you, I really enjoy older movies more now than I ever did before. When I was younger, I was like, black and white. Yeah. Now I'm like, dude, give me black and white. Give me more black and white
that
movies.
stuff is beautiful. Yeah. And that mantis, the deadly mantis looks great.
Oh yeah, it's very. um, I mean, it usually like sometimes these older movies, you kind of like they're boring. This is not. This goes straight to the point, and that's what I like about it. So
Cool.
that's my number 5.
All right. Off to a good start.
Number 4, Looper.
Love Looper, but hate Ryan Johnson these days.
Ryan Johnson before he ruined Star Wars.
Yeah, he did fully ruin Star Wars, him and Kathleen Kennedy. But Brick and Looper are awesome.
Brick's good. I actually watched Brick a year ago. I got the Kino Lorber copy, but I really enjoyed that one. This one I really enjoyed. My I got this is actually my buddy's DVD. He passed away a couple years ago, so I got a lot of his collection. So I was like, and he's the one that introduced me to this. But I have to say, Ryan Johnson's a great director.
I don't know what happened to the guy. I really don't.
I haven't even seen what was the last movie he directed? Knives Out?
The Glass, Knives Out, the Glass Onion one. The sequel to
okay, the sequel to that. Okay. I didn't realize there was a sequel to that. But I like Knives Out. Knives Out was good. But he messed up on Star Wars.
He had an agenda. Oh yeah. Well, and now Favreau is out. He's gone. So now Bob Iger loves Kathleen Kennedy to death. She now runs all Star Wars, which is why Mandalorian season 3 bombed. Favreau did 1 and 2, which were hits.
Mm-hmm.
She got really pissed off with Luke Skywalker being at the end. And then she took over, and all the Star Wars stuff is now her. So everything now that she's doing is all going to be very woke. It's going to have an agenda. It's all going to be about the Mary Sues. Rey's coming back, a character that nobody gives a shit about. Nobody cares. She's going to create the new order, which is what Luke should have done according to the books. And she's going to be awful. So yeah, it's just I have no faith in. I'm not going to buy any of this shit. I'm not going to watch any of it. No.
Number 3, Cowboys and Aliens.
Directed by Jon Favreau.
Yes, I believe.
I enjoyed that. I don't own it, but I liked it.
Yep, that's what.
Yeah, I think he did it right before like Avengers or something, or Iron Man. Yeah, before Iron Man.
From the. Was this after Iron Man?
Is it after Iron Man?
Might be.
It could be. I might be getting my dates mixed up.
Yeah, Iron Man was 2008, right?
So then he did Iron Man, which was a massive hit. He went to go do that.
And then this was 2010. So
okay.
Maybe I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I believe this is the extended edition, which I didn't know there was an extended edition.
Oh, now you do.
So I've seen the theatrical version, but I've never seen the extended version, so I can't comment on that one. So. Number 2, Alita Battle Angel.
James Cameron, at least produced.
I think he produced it.
Yeah,
he was supposed to do it.
I know of it. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard.
I always say his name wrong. Robert. I'm gonna butcher his name. Crap!
Rodriguez.
Rooriguez.
Yeah, it would be Robert Rodriguez, I believe, directed that. Yeah, okay. I think.
Yeah, maybe. He directed it. Yeah, he directed it.
Okay.
So I always get his last name mixed up, and I'm like, but
no,
this is a great.
Happens to me a lot.
Yeah, this is a great movie. They're supposed to be doing a sequel. I don't know if that's even going to happen anymore, but they left it open for a sequel. But this was really good. I really enjoyed this one. I guess this was originally a manga at one point, and I guess they decided to do it live action. And one of the very few times they actually do a manga to live action properly.
Oh, it's live
So
action? I thought it was animated.
it's she is well, no, it's live action.
Okay.
She's the girl herself is she looks kind of animated if you see
Maybe
like the
that's
big
why I
eyes
thought.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone else, as you can see, is like real people.
Okay.
So, but it's good. It's good. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And my number one is the Disney Star Wars movies.
Oh, I know you're pranking you. I know you're pranking me. You got to be pranking me. You got to be pranking me. Otherwise, this will be our final episode.
I was going to go into a big thing about that, but then when you started talking about it, I was like, I can't do it. But no, my number one favorite sci-fi movie of all time
Jar Jar Binks the movie
is Blade Runner.
Ah, okay. There you go. All right. Okay. All
When
right.
I first, I'm not sure if the Final Cut's the one I saw first. I think it was the director's cut. Which one's the one where he voices over?
That's the very first one. That's the
Okay, so it may have been the
sushi. That's what my wife used to call me. Dead fish.
That's the version I saw, but this is the one that I liked. The Final Cut. I want to get the one that has like all five different cuts or whatever of the movie.
No, that'd be
So,
mine. Yeah, the one that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have to track that one down. So Blade Runner.
Awesome. Good first pick. All right. Mine are in no particular order because
Okay.
on top of my bad memory, I also looked up like the best science fiction movies ever made to kind of remind myself of some of the things that are out there. And I could have made like my own 100 list. So these are ones that come to mind. Some of them I've already shown. So like I said, these are in no order, but I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. So The Thing remake, I think, is by far one of the best science fiction movies ever made. Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of my all-time favorite science fiction films. Here's one I did not show. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Brilliant. Saw that as a kid. That the Blu-ray set of that has 3 different cuts of the movie in it. And then I even have a fan edit where they took all 3 versions and all the deleted scenes and made one long movie.
Oh, nice.
So the quality is messed up kind of throughout it, but it tells probably the best story, I think, out of them. But
nice.
it's another one of those like, Blade Runner and all that where, yeah, you get like 3 different versions of the film. There's the theatrical version, there's the special edition, which came out after the theatrical one did, like a couple years later, and then Spielberg's director's cut, which kind of combines both theatrical and special edition.
Yeah.
So definitely worth getting. Star Wars. That's all I'm going to call it. Star Wars. The first Star Wars movie without any title to it is obviously one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the
greatest. It's a New Hope.
I refuse. I refuse. I will not.
You will call it A New Hope, John. You will like it.
I will not. I will not. It is Star Wars, and that is it. And then it is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. And then my number one on here would be Blade Runner. But I wouldn't be able to tell you what version because I haven't seen them all. And I like them, but the ones I have seen, I like them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I could watch the one with the narration. I could watch the one with the unicorn at the end. which Ridley Scott stole from Legend. So I could watch any of them. It doesn't matter to me.
I think the final cut may have took that part out because I don't remember the unicorn.
Yeah, because the guy in the film, he's always making the unicorn, like little paper unicorns, and at the end there's a unicorn like running through the woods, and I believe Ridley took that from Legend and tacked it on to the end. So those are my 5, but man, I could have added a billion more. So that was easy to try to find 100, but it was difficult putting them down to 5. But knowing that we may do this again, I didn't just want to do my absolute 5. I just wanted to do 5 that I think are great. And then next year I'll do 5 that are great. And then, so
there you go.
Yeah. So there we go. So
there
now we're on to worst. Our top worst.
Oh no.
All right. Here you go. What are your worst?
I may upset some people with my number 5.
Okay. I'm curious.
Especially when the first one was my favorite.
Oh,
I did not like the sequel.
Oh, I am deeply offended. I loved the sequel. I've seen it like 3 times. I love that director. He did Duel and some other movies, or Dune, I'm sorry, then some other films I thought were great. Oh my God. Yeah, you have upset some people. Yes.
Oh, I know I have. I know I have. See, here's my problem. Okay, here's my problem. I really feel like if they would have called this anything other than Blade Runner, it would have been a great movie.
Well, we didn't need a sequel.
Hmm?
We didn't need a sequel.
No. Especially 25 years. The whole trend of the 25-year later deal is really getting annoying. And that is probably, I don't know. I think they should have just, or it's one of those things where I probably would have liked this more if they would have just said, if they could have called it Blade Runner, it just made it its own thing. Left Harrison Ford out completely. Don't even connect this with this. Made it its own story. Made it everything. You know what I mean? But then you're expecting this. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I was not a fan of 2049.
Man, at least it's number 5. Okay.
Okay, that's number 5. So it's not the worst. Oh, there's 10 times worse. This is the movie I watched today, and this is what made my 4th. Alien Opponent.
Oh, Jeremy London and Roddy Piper. It's uncut. I have no idea what this movie is. I've never heard of it.
It is essentially this one lady. This dude owns a junkyard. Basically, her mother kills. I don't know if it's her dad or husband. I don't know. Well, anyway, they wanted to kill him for the insurance money. So this alien comes down, crash lands into the junkyard after they kill him, and they can't get the body to collect the life insurance money.
Okay.
And so basically, they do a TV ad that everyone has to come in and kill this alien guy that's supposedly causing ruckus throughout this junkyard. And it's pretty much the whole film.
Wow, that sounds awful.
Even Roddy Piper didn't even save this one.
That just sounds awful. I don't think I want to watch that.
It's not good.
It does not sound like it. All right. Hopefully something better is coming.
Oh, it's on a downhill from here, man. Robo-Dog.
Oh, RoboDog. I don't think I know RoboDog. I would own that one if I found it like at the 99-cent store or something. Dollar Tree.
It is it's essentially it's like it's a family movie.
I'm
But
looking at who's in it. I'm seeing Olivia Diabo. Oh, she was a hottie back in the day. She was in she's the princess in Conan the Destroyer. Gorgeous. She was in Bolero. Yeah, she's the blonde. She was in Bolero with Bo Derek when she was underage, naked, and they didn't think that they could show it in America. And what else was she in? She was in a film called Bullies, which is kind of like the New Kids and Tough Turf and all that stuff. She was beautiful at the time. She was gorgeous. Her sister Miriam Diabo was a Bond girl. She was in The Living Daylights.
So this is pretty much RoboCop with the dog, but not a cop.
So do they shoot it 50 times and like you see like the dog's arm, like paws get blown off? And...
somehow he somehow gets locked in an attic and overheats and dies.
Oh my god!
And
just have him get hit by a car.
And then so the kid's dad basically reconstructs him to make him alive. And I will tell you, you will hate the word why after you hear this, after you watch this movie.
Is like, whoa.
No,
Joey
the
Lawrence.
dog.
Whoa.
The kid is trying to teach the dog how to play fetch. So he throws the stick. He goes, "Go get it." He goes, "Why?" It's like, "Why?"
Oh, the dog talks?
Yes, the dog talks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're on a good pace.
I think I would actually watch that if I could get drunk, get high, eat some pizza, be with a couple friends. I might watch that.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, John.
Oh.
Number 2. Robo-Woman.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Robo-Woman. Directed by Dustin Ferguson. I worked for 1 hour on this film. I held a light in a dumpster while she kills 2 people, I think. A friend of mine, Philip Tricky, he held the other light. And I am credited in the film. So on IMDb, I have 2 credits. In the film, you told me I had 1 credit. And I'm going to put the link down below to Red Letter Media's review of this. As Mike says, the person should be sued for false advertising. And that it is the worst thing that he has ever seen. He actually said that. He says it a lot, but this is the worst movie ever made. So Donald, explain to me Robo-Woman, please. And why is it your second worst and not your first?
Well, we're getting there.
I'm curious now. I am curious.
So, Robo-Woman is about a woman played by Donnelly Hayes.
Donnelly Heising.
Probably gonna say her Heisen. Okay, I knew I was gonna say her last name wrong. Who's basically, I guess it's her last day of work, and this dude that keeps asking her out says, "Hey, please come out. My brother, who's a special needs person, is his birthday." So she goes out, and then I guess,
which follows I Spit on Your Grave, as Red Letter Media points out that when they're raping the girl on the rock for 20 minutes. It's they
Mhm.
call over the special needs friend
Yeah. Yeah.
to
So
join in.
essentially, it's basically she almost gets raped,
Almost.
fails, so they decide to kill her, and then they don't kill her. She goes to some shady looking doctor's lab,
Which
gets
is
turned into Robo
which is
Woman.
Dustin's garage.
Okay. It gets turned. Then basically, it takes on the premises of RoboCop, but 10 times worse.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I've worked with a lot of people in this. So I've worked with Donna. She was in Meat Massacre 4. She had a cameo at the beginning. I've worked with Brink Stevens, who's also in Meat Massacre 4. I worked with Peter Stickles in a few films. Gregory Belair, I have not worked with, but I do know him. Sue Price, I got to work with her. She's known for Nemesis 2 through 5. I mean, just so many people here. I've worked with Clint Beaver, Ken May, Mark Popejoy. I mean, The Arm is made by Joe Castro.
Yeah.
And I know Red Letter Media makes fun of it, but yeah, he did make it. And then yeah, this is it's not rated, 2019, 70 minutes. Your future is terminated, it says right there. And it says the review on here from Rotten Reels Reviews, like a hybrid of Ms. 45 and RoboCop. I am completely down for this. How much did he get paid? She dates, then she terminates. And special features, trailers, which are most likely, because this is Wild Eye releasing, and these days they will release anything and everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
there we go. But we both own
it. Yay!
Yay!
I think I got this during one of the MVD sales.
I think I got
Not,
mine at
not the
Zia
99-cent
Records.
sale.
Yeah.
Not the 99-cent sale, but I think it was like the $4.99 sale.
That's where I got a lot of Dustin's films, were either like, yeah, like the $4.99 or the 99-cent. But I think I got this at Zia Records out here. I think I bought it used.
Okay.
So, which I thought was kind of funny, because like other used movies that are like this were like $7.99, $9.99. This was like $4.99. So I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna grab that. Plus I worked on it, so I should own it.
There you go.
All right.
Now for number one.
Yeah, please.
Okay. I'll explain when I show it. Android Insurrection.
I know of it.
Not Asylum.
Could have fooled me. I know the title in the box, but I've never seen the movie. It's that bad?
Okay. So, at least with Robo Woman, it didn't put me to sleep. So I was still somewhat entertained by the movie.
Okay.
This got to a point to where I fell asleep and woke up to the last 5 minutes of a woman staring at a machine. The machine is talking to the woman, and it's just literally back and forth for 5 whole minutes. And I swear it was the same 5 seconds every time, because you just see the girl just going, and then it's the machine going, like walking back and forth. It was terrible. and I don't even remember what it was about.
Wow. I mean, I like that cover. That's a good looking cover. But I bet that's saying much. So Dustin should be happy if he ever watches this, that his film is not number one.
Well, like I said, I gotta give Dustin credit where credit is due. Is Robo Woman the best movie ever? No, absolutely not. But he made him. He made the movie probably as quick as he possibly could. And hey,
with
it's a
pure
movie.
pure incompetence. So, all right. So, okay, well, here are mine, and mine are all pretty much big budget movies. So, because I didn't really want to pick on low budget films like Robo Woman, but since you were going to have it in there, I'm like, oh, let's talk about it. But since both of us know a lot of people that make the low budget movies, so I didn't want to piss anybody off.
Yeah.
So once again, these are in no order. They're just kind of how I thought of them. And so I'll start from the bottom and go up. Passengers. That's Anne Hathaway and what's his face from Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt. They're on a mission to another planet. His little tube that he's in malfunctions. He wakes up. He starts talking to like holograms and things on the station, and he wakes up. I could be wrong. He might be the janitor or something like that on there. I kind of forget that, but I know that he wakes up Anne Hathaway on purpose, and they still have like decades left to get to this planet. And he tells her that it was a malfunction. So he might just be the guy that's on there. I forget. But it's such a horrible movie because he lies to her through the whole film. I mean, she thinks it was a malfunction when he actually brought her back. And by the time that they get to the planet, they're going to be dead. So because they're in cryo status. And I just thought it was just so petty and just said, what a horrible thing to do to somebody. The selfish thing is to wake somebody up because you're bored. So yeah, it's beautifully shot and everything, but it's just I hated his character, and I just don't like Chris Pratt to begin with. So I do not think he's a leading man. Next one, Pixels, from one of my all-time favorite actors, Adam Sandler. Another actor who I absolutely despise. Pixels is one of the worst things I've ever seen. It is horrible. Adam Sandler looks like he just does not want to be there. He looks so bored. There's like no energy put into his performance whatsoever. It is awful. It is such a bad movie. I almost put Jack and Jill on here, but no, I think Pixels is worse. So especially with stuff like Super Mario Brothers being out and stuff like that. This is horrible. My next one, Howard the Duck. So that was even shot in I have two connections to that film that was shot in Marin County, and the locker room scene that's on Howard the Duck's planet, that was my friend's dad's lockers. So my friend worked for his dad, who ran a locker company, and they rented those lockers out. And Mark Satrakian, who I haven't talked to in a long time, but I used to be friends with him. He was one of the guys who built the duck. So he worked for Lucasfilm for a long time, and then he went off to work with Rick Baker, and he was one of the guys that worked on the intelligent Gremlin from Gremlins 2. So those are my two connections to Howard the Duck. A lot of people think that Highlander 2 is by far one of the worst movies ever made. Nope. Not after you see Lawnmower Man 2. That is by far one of the worst movies ever made.
Wow.
Except that it does have Max Headroom, the guy who plays Max Headroom, who, and this is technically, I guess, Stephen King, and he was also in The Stand as Trash Can Man. So he's been in a couple Stephen King films. So I like that. But otherwise, it is awful. I think you would probably slit your wrist if you had to watch Highlander 2 and Lawnmower Man 2 as a double feature. I don't think that you could make it through it. I
Wow.
would probably dare somebody to do it. Like, I'll give you $100 if you can sit through these two movies, like in the theater, like not at home where you could pause it and go to the
Ah,
bathroom. You have to be in the theater watching it and see what happens by the end. Um, and then the fifth one on here is I love the original, absolutely love it. It's the remake of Rollerball. The remake of Rollerball is so bad, and it's John McTiernan who did Die Hard, that they just did not understand what the point of Rollerball was. Like, to them, it was just an action movie, and it wasn't. It was done in the 70s. It was a statement, kind of like how like the Omega Man, Soylent Green, Planet of the Apes, all of these kind of end of the world doomsday movies, Logan's Run, were back in the 70s. And Rollerball is about sports, and it's all about aging and sports, and and it's got a message to it, and they
yeah,
just did not have that message in the remake. So, and it has a horrible cast in it too. So
yeah.
that's it. Those are my five worst. So
I think I'm alone when I actually like pixels.
oh fuck. And you didn't like Blade Runner 2049, but you liked Pixels. No, Jonathan Moody probably likes Pixels because he loves Adam Sandler.
Well, it's not so much Adam Sandler. I'm more of a Kevin James fan. I'll watch anything with Kevin James in it. But I do like Kevin James. And Peter Dinklage was also. I like Peter Dinklage.
I like him too. I was in a Kevin James movie. You'll
Huh?
never see me. I was in a crowd scene. That wrestling movie that he did, Giving Up the Boom or something like that. It was
All
shot
right.
out here in Vegas, and I was one of the extras that was walking into the hotel to get to the arena.
Mhm.
So you might be able to see me. I don't know. But yeah, I was in a Kevin James movie.
Nice. Okay.
I should add that to my IMDb. I never did. I should. Extra.
There you go.
And it was so fucking boring. When you're not behind the camera, it's freaking boring, man. Just being an actor, you just stand around and do nothing. Just like, fuck, can we get to this?
I mean, you're pretty much acting like you're watching the wrestling match or whatever.
Yeah, we were just walking. We were like walking up to through the escalator to get inside the hotel, which I think was the MGM, I think. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so there you go. My
Yeah.
little thing.
I mean, hey. I mean, I can see why people don't like Pixels. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am not the biggest Adam Sandler fan. I mean, I never did care for him, even back when he was supposedly funny. I
My
mean,
friend and I, when I worked at Blockbuster, everybody was about Adam Sandler. It was all about Happy Gilmore and um,
Billy Madison and all that.
Billy Madison, the Water Boy, and they were, oh my god, he's the
Hmm.
funniest thing ever. I never liked him on Saturday Night Live. I thought the ukulele thing was stupid as hell, and the whole man child persona, of oh, I went down the rope and now I feel weird. It's just like fucking who are God. And so my friend and I said, why don't we get drunk? We'll get like some pizza or something, and we'll watch these four Adam Sandler movies or three or four of them, and we watched them all the way through and just didn't get it. Like nothing, absolutely nothing. These aren't funny. They're not funny.
The
And
only one, the only one I actually enjoyed was Happy Gilmore. That's the only one I actually.
I see that I did like The Wedding Singer. That I'll give him credit for. As far as the comedies go, I like The Wedding Singer.
Mhm.
But it bugs me with these movies that these man childs always have really hot girlfriends, or like these girlfriends that fall in love with them.
Mhm.
When it's like what purpose do you serve? Like, you're like living with your mom, like you don't have a job, you're just a man child who plays video games all day, and but yet you have these really hot women that like fall all over you, and it's just like these were definitely written by men, that's for sure. But it's yeah, I like him as a serious actor. I really enjoyed Funny People. I liked Punch Drunk Love. I like him. I liked the Jewel one that he did.
Cutting Gems or something like that.
Cutting Gems, yeah, that I liked him in that. So I like him as a
I
serious
haven't
actor.
I haven't seen him in that one, but I've heard him him and Jim Carrey both do really good serious roles.
Yeah, I like Carrie, and a lot of people have criticized me for this. I don't even like Robin Williams. I never found Robin Williams to be funny. Screaming and running around on a stage is not funny to me. And he's from Marin County. I used to go to the same high school that he did. And some of my friends knew him, you know. But I love him as a serious actor. I thought he was great in like Insomnia, The Night Listener, World According to Garp. Great. He did great jobs with that 1 hour photo. He was really good. And I'd say I like some of the Jim Carrey comedies. But I do think he's better as a serious actor. Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Number 23?
Long time ago. I could not tell you anything about it. But I think
that was really good. I really enjoyed that. And that was the first time I seen Jim Carrey do something other than comedy. I was like, he can do serious acting? Nice.
yeah, I think where I kind of lost it for him with the humor was Bruce Almighty. And Steve Carell is in it, and he plays the reporter. And he's over here in one shot. Steve Carell's over here doing the news, and then Jim Carrey's over here, like leaning up against the wall, and he's got the powers. And he doesn't like Steve Carell's character, so he does the hand thing and kind of make him like talk weird, like super fast, super slow. Really messes with him, and it's one of the funniest parts of the movie. And my friend goes, "That's not Jim Carrey. That's Steve Carell. That's Steve Carell being funny. That's not Jim Carrey being funny." And I kind of went, you're right. Maybe he's not as funny as we thought he was.
Yeah.
So, and then I liked Steve Carell after that, and I still do. So, and he's another one. I like his comedies, and he's also a really good, like dramatic actor. So
there we go, John. Maybe that's our next film discussion.
there you
Comedies.
go. Oh God, yeah, there we go. Jeez, that's going to be a tough one for me. I don't even think I would have movies to show for that, because a lot of the films that are my favorites, I don't have them yet. Animal House and stuff like that. So I would just have to make a list.
Yeah.
I could search, but I don't think I'd have anything really to show.
I may have a couple, but I don't know. That's like one of the movies I don't have a lot of, if you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, I need to get more comedies. So, all right. Well, is there anything that you want to say? We should probably wrap this up.
We pretty much said everything we need to say, man. I mean, science fiction. It's great.
There you go. Unless you're Blade Runner 2049, apparently.
You're not going to let me live this down, are you?
Oh, no, I won't. I won't. I won't. You tormented me with Jar Jar Binks, and now I'm going to torment you with that.
Misa Jar Jar Binks!
Armin Best, they even gave a part 2 on one of the Star Wars shows, like Obi-Wan or something. Poor guy who played little Anakin, little Annie. The guy ended up in jail and shit. They didn't bring him back. They gave Armin Best a role, which is fine. I felt sorry for the guy, but so it's nice to see that he's doing something else. But
yeah,
all righty then. I guess we should say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye guys.
Everybody. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. We really appreciate it. And if you want, down below, list your top 5 and your top best and top worst, like 5 films.
Yeah.
See what we got there.
And tell me how wrong I am for saying Blade Runner 2049 is terrible.
But yeah, what was the best one that I didn't like? You showed one that I said, oh my God, but yet you think Blade Runner is bad? What was in your best list?
Oh, my best?
Yeah. Yeah,
My number
remember
one?
I said, oh my God, I can't believe you think that's the best, but yet Blade Runner is the worst.
My best was
No, no, no,
Blade
no.
Runner.
No. I made fun of you by saying I can't believe that your worst is Blade Runner 2049. How can you like this as your best? You had a film in there that I did not agree with your best or something. Am I mistaken?
Um,
I remember saying, how can you like that and you don't like Blade Runner 2049?
I'm not sure. We'll have to replay it and maybe come back next week.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, Pixels.
Thank you, Pixels.
You
Okay,
said,
there.
You said.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting old. I don't remember. I don't retain these things as much as I used to. So, all right, Pixels. There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll try to figure out something good. Maybe not comedy. Who knows? But we'll figure out something else. Bigfoot movies or something. So
Bigfoot movies.
We'll
figure something out.
We'll figure out something. All right, everybody. Take it easy. Bye. Bye.
See you, everybody.